The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today. I never know how to start these episodes, right? And then, like, right now, I really don't know how to start. I'll start with Sqaullie. Good to see you again, my friend. Will, it is an honor to meet you virtually.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
We've been at the same shows a couple times now, but there were big shows, and I didn't get a chance to see you, so I couldn't go over and say hi.
Yeah, and I'm tucked away these days.
Yeah, I ended up, at the Blood for Blood show, I was talking to Arya and Matt, and I asked if you were there. They're like, yeah, we were just talking with them. I'm like, I'm looking around. I was like, where? But the show coming up, I definitely won't miss you then, obviously. I'm very excited for this. I'm going to start by doing something I never do and kind of fan out, right? Like, I've met celebrities, I've met athletes, and I've met multiple musicians that music means so much to me, and I have to say this, like, the Old Edison means a lot to me, and in many ways, and it was one of those things where I think I've told this, Sqaullie knows this, and I think when Liam first came on, I had mentioned this, but, like, to me, like, the Old Edison was a band I always heard about and I never had a chance to see, and, you know, it was one of those things where, like, I considered the Old Edison to be Boston's best kept secret. Like, it was, if you got a chance to see the Old Edison, then it was an amazing thing, and it was like people kept you guys from others. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it felt like. Growing up in a coastal town, there was this little beach, and the locals never told anybody about it. Like, never told the tourists about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of those deals. So, like, when I heard about this show coming up, I was blown away by it, and I'm very excited to be able to do this with you. So,
yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, we did a pretty good job ourselves of keeping us at the Midway forever, and Jamaica Plain. We always joked with the Trophy Lungs guys that, like, when we played together in Cambridge, it was like Jamaica Plain meets the O'Brien's crowd in this grand summit of Boston punk rock. But it was not our plan to be a secret. It was just, we wanted to play as we loved playing shows, and so we played ourselves into a corner, I think, early on, in terms of, like, how you do it right.
mm.
Like, if I was to start a band tomorrow and, like, go for it and, like, you know, book the weekenders and the 1 week tours and the build up around an album release show, there is nothing I would have done that is remotely similar to how we played shows.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing, like, I remember like getting messages from the Midway like during a blizzard and being like, "You guys want to play tonight? Nobody's here and the power went out." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a show I want to play." Like, sure, we're playing like a week later and the week before, and like, but we had a crew of people, like, we had our Sucker Punch Sunday crew, and we write sing-along songs, and we just brought 10 or 12 people to every show, and I think that made our live shows really intriguing to every person that was seeing us for the first time.
Mm.
And if it clicked for them, maybe they said yes to the next one, and the next one was probably in 4 days at the same venue, opening up for a country band from Kentucky, because Ryan the Terrible and Lenny from the Midway was like, "I don't know how to book a country band. Fuck it, throw the Old Edison at them." And we'd get them drunk on Fernet, and like, it worked out for a while. We had a lot of fun in those early years, but in terms of being a kept secret, I think we did that to ourselves pretty well.
Yeah. I mean that in the best way, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
I appreciate it.
yeah. No, it's like one of those things where, like I said, like, I mean, I grew up in Rhode Island, and like, I'd come out to Boston for shows, and like, I had always heard the rumblings, and I just never had a chance to see you guys, and it was just one of those things. And then, I move out here in 2011. I end up moving around a little bit, and then I come back in 2020, and then I have this podcast, right? And like, we're doing, we're slowly moving into like this musical direction, which happened on a natural progression. It was just, I was just talking to all sorts of artists and other podcasters, and everything from chalk artists to tattooists to, you know what I mean? And like, so I get back home, and like, things were looking bleak for me. I was going to give it up, and then someone convinced me not to. I said, I'm going to try to book Mark Lind and Mike Shue. Not at the same time, but like, and if one of those guys accept, then I'll keep this thing going. And they both did. And then this thing just took off. And then after that, like, more people in the music world started hitting me up, and it made sense. Like, I'm not a musician, but I love music, and music does a lot, like, to me internally, emotionally. So I was like, you know what? Let's see how this goes, and then it just unraveled into this thing. And when I had met Liam, I had hit him up to do the podcast. It was right when the Benefit album came out, and I was like, man, I know this name. I know the Old Edison's name, because, like I said, like, I was just someone that would travel up and see shows, and then it just kind of like, I started like getting deeper into like, just listening to more Boston music, and like, I never really like when I started listening to the Old Edison, it was probably around that time I was really digging into it. I'm like, man, this is like really good songwriting, really good like lyrical content, like, and then like, it's just, you guys are as far as I'm concerned, and from the circles I run in, you guys are legendary, and you're legendary to me. And like, I just like, I don't know, it was just been one of those things. Like, I just, and from being a storyteller and a writer, like, I dig into these songs and I just see it all, you know what I mean? I can envision it. And it's just one of those things, for me. So again, this is awesome. I'm really happy we can do this, but yeah, with that said, I mean, to go back to what you were saying about if you were to start a band tomorrow, like, you would do everything differently. Like you guys were kids when you started this band, right?
Yeah, Liam, Rory, and Gemma moved into what we call the Double Deuce on Woodward Street in Dorchester in 2006, I think. And I was fucking up pretty bad in high school. I was 16. And I started living on the couch at 17. I just didn't like my household. And they had instruments laying all over the place. I had played bass in Spiky Jacket punk band with kids that I was in high school with from the suburbs, and through them I went to Brockton hardcore shows, and my evolution was straight up punk rock. I think my first show was Lower Class Brats, Clit 45, and the Morgan Knockers.
Yeah.
At the Cambridge Elks. And yeah, I started playing songs, and eventually all the acoustic guitars we were just playing in the kitchen nonstop. We're why don't we do something with this? Why don't we make a band? And then Liam he was opening up retail stores as a shop fitter. And Liam went to open up a store in Cleveland and came back, and we were further along, and I think we had played, I think the first show was at the Abbey Lounge, opening up for the great Jim McSweeney. And he came back and he was like, "You guys started a band without me? What the fuck?" And it was a couple of awkward weeks. And we're like, "No, man, you're in the band." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, the name Horseshoes and Hand Grenades sucks. How about the Old Edison?" We were like, "Whoa, yeah, that's a way better name, bro." And then we looked on MySpace, and there were 38,000 bands called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, and a bar in Washington State called the Old Edison. We were like, "This is gonna work out better."
They Gemma hit me up. So I wasn't in the band yet. They were all just doing that in Dorchester, but I was doing my solo shows, and I had a residency at the Abbey Lounge coming up, and Gemma hit me up and was like, "Hey, I have a new band with Wilgood and Liam and Rory, this fucking asshole." And he's like, "Yeah, I got this new band. We're called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I booked them to open for me. And the Abbey Lounge prints out. They would print out the list of shows at the beginning of the month, and also they would put it in the Phoenix. And literally the day after they put up the poster being "Oh, and Sqaullie Green Thumb and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades," he hits me up and he's like, "Can you change it to the Old Edison?" I'm like, "No, not. I mean, you guys could call yourself that, but we can't do shit right now." But I agree, it's a much better name.
Right on. Hi, Rory. Welcome.
Hi, I made it. It was just being domestic.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, glad to be here.
So we were just getting caught up with the genesis, I guess, of the Old Edison. This was before you were in the band, Sqaullie, right?
Yeah, I didn't join the band until after the first record had come out and they had started writing Story Yelling. Liam had gone on to Liam just leaves and then shit happens and he comes back and it's like, all right, this is the deal now, basically, is the moral of the story. But he went on tour with the Growlers and me and Will Good were like staying at we're like house sitting essentially for the summer. And the second they left, Will Good just turns to me, he's like, hey, you want to try and write a song before they get to the highway? And I was like, abso-fucking-lutely. And that's when we wrote Wits and Guns. And then we were like talking about there being a band that's just like the Old Edison and Sqaullie Green Thumb, and we called it the Azavrex because it's Cervezas backwards. And then eventually that just turned into a Will Good breaking his hand, punching a punching bag real hard, and I had to fill in for him on guitar, and then I just kind of never left. And that's how I ended up in.
Sqaullie does that.
Show up places and just never leave.
Just
No,
don't
never leaves.
Right on. Yeah. Well, Rory, we'll give you an official welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Glad you could make it. You'll have to go back and listen to see all the fanning out I did at the beginning of the episode, but it's all good stuff.
I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I'm sure. I'm sure you didn't bring us on here to be like, you guys actually fucking suck, and I hate you, and I just wanted to take a minute to tell you that. That would be weird if that was why we were here. Yeah, no, it's cool. I've never actually. I feel like the only time I've ever done a podcast is for the Old Edison. I think this would be number 2.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, how did you meet everybody? How did this whole thing come about in your stories, in your words?
Well, I was friends with Will. We all had like the same friends, and as time kind of grew on, there were only so many kids who listened to punk music in South Boston. And so eventually we became friends with Liam and Jimma. They're the other group of kids in South Boston that listened to punk rock. They were just a little older than us. But I don't know, Will and I we always hung out. We always there was a point in time when he was still just a wee lad, and he was probably only like 16, and he'd come with me to punk rock shows and shit. And I don't know, I just feel like, and then from there I moved into an apartment, and then he was living on my couch, and we started writing records, eventually. And then I'm sure kind of what Sqaullie was just saying, that like we were all living together, me, Liam, Jimma, and Will. And then Liam went away for work and came back, and he was like, wait, you guys started a band? Like what? And then we didn't really initially ask him to join the band right away. He was just like kind of like hanging around at the back, like sticking his head through like the side of the door frame, being like, what's going on, guys? Like, and eventually we were just like, oh, we just thought we just assumed that you were in the band, like you knew.
You fucking live here. It's a house band.
Guys, this is why Liam isn't on the podcast, right? Because he knew we were just gonna fucking like shit on him the whole time. And like this way he doesn't have to like face it. He can just be all like, oh, I'm sure it was good.
and we all, and like, I don't know, we all played the guitar. We all played the guitar and the bass. So that really only gets you so far. So that's how I started playing the banjo. And same thing with Jim on the mandolin. And Will's grandmother had passed away, so he bought us all instruments with the life insurance money too. He like balled out on us real hard.
We were rolling through with some meager shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
You had that fucking like toy guitar with the cowboy on it and shit.
Yep.
That's what I remember from the first show, like vividly. Was just like I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, and it worked.
Was that the showdown? Had the
Yeah.
driver picture on it. I forgot all about it. That was Liam's or yours?
Liam gave it to me.
Yeah.
Karen
I
has
still have
that now. Or,
I still have the guitar I got then and hanging on the wall. It's not really
Nice.
it's like it's not playable, but like it just needs like a severe neck job, if you will.
don't
Action
we
time.
all?
Dude, seriously?
Yeah, I'm a little sensitive about neck jobs.
Yeah, bro.
Damn.
Um,
I'm gonna go.
so
Yeah, it's gonna go.
It's really for the best.
I gotta ask: is the Old Edison a collective or is it a band? Is the answer yes?
Sqaullie explains this best.
Okay.
So the Old Edison lived by Wu-Tang rules, where as long as there was more than one of us playing a show together, it was the Old Edison. So there were times where there was a time where like Will, Liam, and Rory were in New York playing a show, and we had like double booked with a show in Boston, and so it was just me and Catherine Joyce, but it was two of us, so it's the Old Edison, right? And also following Wu-Tang rules is
You just never knew who
RZA just went around. Yeah, RZA just went around being like, "All right, who wants to be technically Wu-Tang?" Like, and that was also us. Like, we have people like fucking Ryan Coomey, Craig is our unofficial sax player. Fucking Matt Trainer plays the floor tom and only the fucking floor tom. Fucking.
We don't need him
also just, like,
jazzing up the
abduct-
band.
We would abduct people at shows too to play like
Yeah.
sets with them.
If like somebody
If you
had
played,
like a
like, a
fucking horn player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, hey, don't sit down. Come on up, bud.
Yeah. If you showed up with an instrument you're playing that night, is it basically?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Basically.
not
Yeah,
already
and
in
then-
the band, pretty much. Yeah.
And then the Hard Times came out with the article and was just like, local folk punk band has guy playing Milk Crate on stage. And Seamus, who was a bartender at the Midway and became our manager to absolutely no benefit of his own.
Or ours. No, sort of ours.
Or ours.
You booked a couple
No,
shows.
ours. He took pretty good care of us and he tried real hard.
He really
We did him no favors.
Honestly, we kind of destroyed his reputation. He hasn't managed since.
He's still waiting on his 10%. He just
10% of a pizza.
constantly reminded us that we were pretty much the prototypical worst example of a folk punk band. Except we didn't eat out of the trash that you'd hear about.
Yeah.
That's why I have a hard time
Hop-
classifying
hop.
us as like a folk punk band.
You didn't eat out of the trash?
We didn't eat out of trash.
I mean,
Nope,
just in
no.
general, I don't know.
I only have one
I mean,
stick
I've
and
eaten out
poke
of the trash
tattoo.
before. I mean, I'm not going to say I've never eaten out of the trash. Like, I'm not, there's some times like it's happened.
But it's one of those things like, when we would play punk shows, like it was like, oh, that's the Old Edison, the folk punk band. But then we would play shows with folk punk bands and we were the Old Edison, the punk band. We didn't change anything. But it was clear as fucking day that we don't actually fit in either world, but can work with both. And like Will was saying earlier about like, Seamus and Lenny, like, booking us on shows with like country bands and shit. They booked us on shows with like screamo bands, like anything. Just literally, if there was a fucking hole, it was just like
5 shows a month.
Yep.
We would play anytime. He would call us. Like one time he called us after we recorded that split with Time and Place. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it was either him, it might have been Jay or Dave. One of them called us. It was like, what are you guys doing? We're like, nothing. We're just like kind of drinking. We were just recording. He was like, do you want to come play a show at the Midway? It was a Sunday. And we were just happened to be with a full other band. And Johnny from the Growlers. So we had like a whole 3 set show, like all at once. I don't know. We would literally just, we would always play though.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I have a story about the split with Time and Place. Yes, Sqaullie smiling. So I'm sitting at the Midway one afternoon on a matinee show because I'm an old man and those are my favorite shows. And I'm sitting there and like out of nowhere, I turn around and Sqaullie's standing next to me and he like hugs me and he goes, "Here," and he handed me a copy of that. And then I looked at it and like by the time I looked up, he was gone. He like disappeared. It was, yeah, and I was like forever grateful that he gave that to me. So I have to bring it up. I bring it up a lot, but because like it was just a bizarre moment in time where I was like, did this really happen? But then I see the 7-inch, so I'm like, all right, this did happen. I didn't just make this up. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to give that to you before I went to fucking burritos and got myself a 6-piece. Get all greasy all on it.
Did you come back to that show?
No, I definitely came back to that show. And I remember very vividly that I also didn't see you for the rest of the night, so who's the real fucking ghost?
Yeah. I don't move, man. I sit in the same spot when I go to the Midway. I'm always in the back, sitting at the bar, usually with some kind of beer in my hand. So but yeah, I know that's a great split. Time and Place, fantastic band as well. And like again, like with them, I say the same thing. I'm like, are you guys a band or a collective? And they're like, a little bit of both, I guess. So, but yeah, it's I don't know what it is about 2026 with all these like reunion shows this year, but I'm all for it. What came about to decide that we were going to do this show?
So when I broke my neck, I was in the back seat of an Uber, and I've been in a lawsuit about them being responsible for their driver being not safe to drive for...
Will, we just lost your audio.
Oh, that was probably good. Trying to say this diplomatically so I don't get my ass in trouble.
Yeah.
But basically, one of the things my lawyers asked was like, we're going to shoot like a day in the life video, show like what the difference is, and like show what you used to do. And like I used to be sous chef of a restaurant, and gonna show like the kitchens and stuff, and like maybe we go to like a venue you play, get some people together. And I'm like, I could book a whole show. And I like brought that up to Liam, and he was like, done. And
I can pack 100 jabronis in one room.
Yeah, I was like, you need suckers? I got suckers.
I got chumps on deck for days, dude.
and I talked to my barber, and my barber is a dear friend of all of us, Timmy Almeida, and he is really good friends with Kelly and all the Trophy Lunks guys. And I've been talking to her about my court case like since the accident. He's been cutting my hair. He comes into my house to cut my hair, and he's like, Trophy Lunks will get back together for the show, like the day after I told him about it. And I was like, Liam, it's Trophy Lunks. He's like, well, who else? And I'm like, I don't know. Ask Lenny.
I don't know, figure it out, bro.
Because we released our first CD with Lenny. Lenny's one of the goats in fucking Boston punk rock. Like, who else do you start with? when you're trying to book a great show like this, and he said, nope, he's playing a night show. So he's like, I gotta open. We're like, fucking perfect.
Mm.
And then it just kind of like ran from there. And it's really turned into something that's been pretty emotional for me, the outreach and the response I've been getting from people. And like, I watched the benefit show for the first time in its entirety. I finished that today. And Sqaullie, I don't think you have ever gotten a song completely wrong, where you just sang a totally different verse.
No, that was the first time that ever happened, and I've been waiting for my fucking redemption. Because not only did I sing the wrong verse, which, like, okay, to fucking people out there that know like guitar and stuff, both songs, like, we have two songs
similar
that have the same chord progression, just different rhythm. And
Yeah.
I sing the third verse on both of them. So,
Yeah.
but also the verse that was supposed to be on that song is everybody's favorite verse I've ever written.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking up, and like my eyes are closed, and I'm like, you know, I'm just like in it, and then I open my eyes and I see the entire crowd, mostly Matt Trainor's face, but the entire crowd looking at me in like shock and disgust, and I'm like, oh fuck. Shit. So yeah, I've been waiting for this moment, and basically they,
I
you know,
just for the first time found out what happened. Actually, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I remember the show stopping, but I wasn't really paying enough attention to like what you were singing to know what I was. And we stopped, and I'm like, oh, okay.
But like, when like, so Will and Liam figure this shit out, and I get home from vacation with my girlfriend, and the second I walk in the house, I pull out my phone and I have a voicemail from Willgood from 1 minute earlier, and it says, we're on a mission from God. And since then, I called him back and he told me the details, but like since then, like I have completely just like thrown out any fucking idea I had of the future, because like the old Edison is getting back together and we're playing this show, and my entire life fucking surrounds that now. And I, you know, I've been listening to our songs for the first time in like 5 years, including the other night I listened to the tribute compilation, and I was just like we really fucking did that, you know? And like I don't usually think of anything I've done in the past that way. I'm usually like, yeah, I'm moving on. I'm on to this project, whatever. The opportunity to get back and do this again is like the greatest fucking gift. Just really. So it's like it's been great, and I promise I won't fuck up that verse this time.
Also, the ending was just the most quintessential Old Edison ending of like 90 seconds of, do we have anything else? No. So we're done? Okay. And then just instruments unplugging hot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's so good. So Rory, are you currently playing music at all or anything, or?
I mean, I play like every day, but like by myself. I was on a bit of a hiatus in the beginning of the year. I don't know. I was playing like a lot of Fallout 4, and wasn't really playing a ton of music. And then a friend of mine, ours, reached out to me. He was like, I need a banjo player for some gigs down in Nantucket for March for like St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, I can fake it. That's fine. I don't, like I faked it for him before. So since I honestly, that was like this crazy experience because I hadn't seen this dude in probably 10 years. And the fiddle player was this dude I had never met, but we had a really great chemistry. It was really nice to like hang out with some buddies and just like kind of get high and play tunes and like just like laugh and tell jokes. And then I realized that was like really missing in my life when I got home. And I was like, real life really, like going back to work that following week, I was like, this fucking sucks. This is my life. Like, oh my God, I just got paid to play music all weekend. Like, what the hell? Like, and now I don't know. It's just, it's nice. Cause like anyway, but I've been playing a lot since then.
Mhm.
It's like I've been like making a point to like pick up my banjo because like it's all there. Like I have the stuff. It's either hanging on the wall. I have it sitting on a stand. So like it's there to pick up. It's funny actually. The only things that are I have three things that I have like 9 guitars upstairs probably between, but only 3 of the things up there actually are have fine intonation, have fine action. It's my banjo, Will's dad's guitar, and this electric Schecter that I've had for like 20 years. That's been beat to shit. This guitar has been beat up and thrown around practice spaces and like never been touched by a luthier ever once. And it's like still straight as an arrow. Like it's unbelievable.
Nice. There's this thing about like I talked about this a lot on the podcast, like because I'm not a musician, but I write, and like I regardless if I ever share stuff with people, which I've started to over the last few years. One of the reasons is Sqaullie has convinced me to start sharing more things, and but like it's something we do because we have to do it. Right, we have to create. We have to. It's a mindset, and it's something that I don't want to say I did hide it for a while, but I also put it on the shelf, right? Because in my 20s, like it was like I had this. I was taught a misconception of what I should be doing and what I should be and who I should be, and it's like it's been something it's been a thing we've talked about on the podcast a lot now is like creating, right, and just the reason behind it, and it's just something that it's in us and we have to do it, and like. I get up every morning at 4 a.m. to get ready I try to get up every morning at 4 a.m. to try to get ready for work. But like, I hate it. And I like I think I have a good job. I like my job, but like what I am constantly thinking of the next thing to create or the thing I'm creating at the time, whatever it is that I'm writing.
I get that for sure.
Yeah, it's just something that's inside of us, and like I know, Will, I know you've been on the Miracle on Com Ave comp a couple times over the last couple years, right?
Yeah.
And like, are you still like writing and stuff like that?
So those songs got kind of dragged out of me, thanks to Aria and Liam. And since the accident, I can't write in a notebook. So I'm using voice to text, and voice to text with the Boston accent is a joke. And I'm trying to do it as quickly as I used to write. And it just doesn't, it was so frustrating early on that I stopped. And I tried to get into some longer format writing lately. And Liam sent me a song in the middle of this and was like, just take out the last 2 verses and we're going to pass the song around. And I just threw it into Logic and split the stems and like looped the guitar and just wrote by recording my voice and then like speaking that slowly into my phone. So it's not going great. It's a lot more labor intensive than it used to be. Like 2 years ago, I threw out 15 notebooks in a pit of fucking depression that probably had, I don't know, 150 songs in them. And I was just like, well, this part of my life is done, so I don't fucking need this shit. But I think like making music again and playing music again and singing, trying to sing songs, like I haven't like projected since. Like my lungs are atrophied, like partially atrophied from surgery, so my voice isn't gonna be the same no matter what I do. So writing is it's fucking triggering to think about, because it makes me think of singing, it makes me think of playing guitar, it makes me think of smoking a cigarette, it makes me think of walking around.
No, it's gotta be tough. But your brain still kind of creates that stuff, right?
I come up with
every day, right?
Punchlines, and one-liners, and hooks, and I should just voice memo them.
I feel like the one-liners, the hooks, the punchlines, and stuff like that would always be the stem. I feel like for a lot of like inspiration too. So that makes sense.
And
that,
like the way I would loop something is like, me and Rory would smoke a bone and he would play a chord progression for like 10 minutes and I would just fever write. And that's why so many of our songs are 4 chords. Because that's how, like, I would write the whole fucking song in one shot and not edit. And like, I think Honorable Discharge, I think I had to check the age difference between my dad and my uncle, but that was like one go. We ripped off Chuck Reagan's The Boat, but that's okay. Nobody's ever said anything about it. That's fine.
There's got to be something that's going to help you with the accent, right?
I set it to Irish, and it helps considerably.
Does it really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so
awesome.
fucking funny.
Well, they don't use R's as much either, and their A's are different. I don't know. It's working a little bit, and I'm eventually gonna buy myself the newer iPad that is gonna scan my eyeballs and sell it to China, but it's worth it for the better voice tech. And things keep improving on that front. So the more I do it successfully, the more motivation I have. Like, I have a verse for that song Liam sent me. I've already sent the song to Sqaullie to have Sqaullie write his verse. Like, we have practice next Sunday, and we might have a new song by next Sunday. So, like, that's motivating as fuck.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That is also how we wrote songs back in the day too. Would literally be like, we'd show up to practice and it would be like, okay, and we're like, all right, like working on story yelling. It's like, okay, all right, I think we have enough songs, and then Will Good would show up with his pile of moleskins and be like, wait, I figured something out earlier, hold on. And he'd go through it, and then all of a sudden we have another song, and we're like, okay, we'll work on this one, and then that's the record, and then it just kept happening. Or like, and it's just, I think the amount of practices we had where like we didn't write something new, whether we ended up recording it or playing it live ever, but like we were always like creation first, and then like, okay, let's remember how to play these fucking chords, and that was it. That's the practice, and that the fact that it's gonna happen like that again is just like, it's just how we do shit, man. It doesn't matter how long it's been, you know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Is there like, so like, when I just want to go back to the voice to texting, because like, so I have a Rhode Island accent, which is like the incestual love child of New York and Boston mixed together. You get this Rhode Island accent, and like I was living in the South, and I answered the phone at the business. I was opening up a restaurant for somebody, and I answered the phone the first day we were open. I never got to talk on the phone again because I had no idea what they were saying. They had no idea what I was saying. And like sometimes it would just like slip out, and I think subconsciously, like I didn't want to get the Southern accent, so I think I was just like speaking with the Rhode Island accent more than I normally would, you know. But yeah, I remember when I first started writing screenplays, and like I really started digging into it, because the way I write is like, something will happen, like a kind of like you were saying, like a punchline or a one-liner, or just something like a memory of one like capture of time in my mind would happen, and like I would see everything at once. So like I would have a whole movie in my head, and I'm like, well, I know the movie, but like, you know, I wasn't a very good typer. I had a hard time reading my own handwriting, so like I tried the text to talk thing, and it just never worked. It just never worked for me. It never worked for me. But I think your method that you were saying is kind of like, you said you'll just speak it into, like you'll speak it like as a voice memo, right? And then go back and do it. That might work. It seems like it might be a little bit longer of a process, but I mean, it seems like you're adapting and overcoming that.
Yeah, it's just getting to a payoff that is, I need me some serotonin, or I ain't gonna do no shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is writing a song or rattling off some thoughts till I come to my profound white cisgendered thought, my big statement that all the people must hear, that I post on my Substack that nobody's subscribed to, and that's just the way I like it.
Yeah. Hey, I checked it out. I don't know how to subscribe. I'm old. I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure out. But I did check out some of your writing on there. And when you had posted it on the book of Faces, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check this out, and I saved that, and I go back and I visit it. I just don't know how to subscribe. I guess I probably needed like an account, right, to do that part.
Probably. I'm not sure either.
I don't even know what Substack is. Like, what is that? Like, I've heard people talk about it, but
it's like journal entries and people yelling about politics, but they don't have the restriction of Twitter, so they're not being witty, they're being long-winded.
Yeah, it's just the word blog became like so fucking like it became such a bad word, nobody wanted to write a blog anymore, and somebody came up with Substack, and they're like, that's just stupid enough. It's really all.
So that might just work.
Maybe no one will remember this because I'm the old man in this group, but there was something called Live Journal back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I had a dead journal because I was a spooky goth guy.
Yeah. Right on. Well, all right. So let's get. So let's get back to the show. The show date is oh man, I didn't write that down. Is it the 26th?
7/26.
7/26 at Faces, and it's an afternoon show.
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Because
Bring your kids, give them earmuffs.
Amazing. I have a group text with my shitbag friends from back home in Rhode Island, and one of them posted the flyer for that show, and they're like, "Who wants to go to this?" And like they're coming up from, the southern tip of Rhode Island. They're gonna stop here where I live, right outside of Worcester, and then we're gonna go to Faces from there. And like I just thought it was awesome that they, like one of them they just happened to see the flyer. And they were like, "Oh, this is a good show." And they just went to Faces for the first time a couple weeks ago for the Ocelot Records reunion show. So they were like, they loved the place. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. We're going." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I started going on and on about you guys, and a couple of them they've heard the Old Edison before because of me, because it's a story yelling is something that's in constant rotation for me. But yeah, so they're pumped, which is awesome. It's always a good time when my shitbag friends decide to come visit me, So that'll be it'll be fun. It's gonna be a fun show, I think. I mean, and you said Lenny's opening.
Lenny's opening. And you got Trophy Lungs, who we love and adore. And the first time I met Kelly from Trophy Lungs, I kissed him on the mouth because he also has a "This Machine Kills Fascists" tattoo, and we need more of that energy in the world. But me and Rory are in one of their music videos, and I'm in another one of their music videos because they're just too much fun to be around. And they write the catchiest kind of pop punk.
Dude, their albums are like if one band did a fucking Vans Warped Tour, one of those comps. Yeah. They cover every fucking base, and it's like they're just ridiculously talented. Both Trophy Lungs and Kevin's old band, I think it was 10 Thistles, I think was the name of it. Just like everything that dude touches is fucking gold. So it's like he knows every fucking like cheat code and shortcut. I fucking hate him for it, but like it's just gonna be a great time.
Yeah. This is definitely a show I'm looking forward to. Like there's been a lot of great reunion shows this year so far, but after hearing the announcement of this one, I think this is the one I'm most excited for.
Well, that's an honor because there have been some fucking bangers.
They sure.
And I'll try to live up to that. And the good thing is, like I said earlier, we're a sing-along band, so even if I can't sing, I'm sort of banking on not having to for most of it. I'm really thinking about phoning it in, guys. You're not telling anyone, Trev, right? This is the pre-podcast.
Yeah, when do we start?
This is off the record, right?
Right. All this is off the record.
Wait, what's this? Excited. What's this red bar with a timing on?
No, don't worry about that. Right. Oh man. I have to ask this too, like for when it comes to the sound of the Old Edison, because like you guys said, like you're not, you fit in both worlds, but to each world you're not quite that, right? Like the punk rock, like you guys would fit anywhere, and I think that's what punk rock's all about, really, is just like being yourselves and playing the music you want to play. But when you guys started the band, did you always was this like the sound you wanted, or is this just the sound, like, did you guys try? Because like to me, like, I think one of the tags that you guys put on all your stuff is like hood folk, right? And I feel like that's pretty accurate to what you guys are. And I don't know if anybody sounds like the Old Edison, but because of that, like this is an unfair thing for me to do, but whenever like I talk about or hear or whenever folk punk gets thrown into like some kind of conversation, or have you heard this, have you heard that, or if I go to hear a folk punk band, like you guys set the bar for me. They have to be close to what you guys produced over the years for me to like even consider liking it. And like that's not fair to these bands, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, because like I have a friend that like they're big into folk punk, and like, you know, I think to a lot of people, what is that? I don't even know the name. Is it Strange Brew? Was that like the big folk punk band? Everyone
Mischief Brew.
But like to me, like it wasn't that. Obviously, I don't even know their name. It was you guys.
I think the hot shit folk punk band right now is Apes of the State is one of them. I know that.
Yeah, and I know
it's like one of the new like out there. I see a lot of chatter about and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've dug into like Pigeon Pit. They're pretty good. And a couple other ones over the years.
I mean, folk punk's cool because like you can just like completely suck at playing music and writing songs and singing, and like even more so than being like just regular punk rock. Like it's cool. Like that's cool, I guess. You know, like that's great. Like anybody can do it. Like it's literally it's for everybody.
So was this the sound that you guys always wanted to make, or was this just?
Well, we lived in a 3-bedroom apartment in Dorchester on like the 3rd floor, and we couldn't have drums. And you know, our neighbor was cool as hell. Like he was practically deaf, and he didn't really give too much of a care of like what we were doing upstairs. But I think it was just mostly like at first it was just like, oh, we're gonna write songs on acoustic guitars because that's what we have. And then eventually, I don't know, we just kind of committed.
For a lot of it, I think it was just like I was writing songs as like singer-songwriter songs that got filled in as a punk rock band. But like I grew up on folk music. Like my dad made me listen to Celtic Twilight and like Tom Rush, and like I got into like Woody Guthrie and like Lead Belly and like Pete Seeger, like early in my folkdom, punkdom. I was just like, all right, like who's saying something? And I mean, we never really did anything political, but I think making a community is a political act and an act of resistance when all they want you to do is go to work for 40 to 80 hours a week, go home, fuck, have kids, and do it all over again. Like, so, like I said at the beginning, like there wasn't the big plan on what we want to sound like. Like sometimes Liam picked up a melodia or melodica or a
He picked up both a melodica and a melodeon, both of them. Yeah.
I was like, it's one of those words. No, it's two different things.
Yeah. Right
on. But yeah, it was. We were down for whatever. We just knew what we knew each other so well, and we were such solid dudes. Like for each other, like we were going to shows and like not getting into fights purely because there were like 20 of us.
Yeah.
So like we knew we had each other's backs. We were eating mushrooms together, tripping balls, seeing God, punching him in the face, talking about it afterwards. Just doing hood rat shit. So we knew what we sounded like. And we didn't know what that was for a while, but we figured it out.
That was always like a strange thing for me. Like starting like not in the band and witnessing it all from the outside was like I I I've never been big into folk punk, period. I was big into the guy in punk band turned singer songwriter style of it. But like people who like their whole career was and like leaned more into the folkier thing was never my stuff. Even like I'm gonna say it live on air. I was never into Against Me, okay? But I liked the Old Edison, and I liked when the Old Edison covered Against Me a lot better than Against Me themselves. And I would see them like gaining fans and like people getting into them who like were into that type of shit and like saying that it was similar to it, and I was just like, I don't hear it. And it actually took me playing Troll 2's Backyard, which they still owe me $60 for, by the way. And playing with all those bands and realized there's something about the way we play our instruments and the way all of our voices are, especially when they come together, is I think we're the thickest sounding like folk punkish band I've ever fucking heard. It's like it's overpowering, and I think that's what hit me about it more than just like I'm watching my friends play music and I like my friends. Like I was legitimately like, holy shit. And like Will Good was, you know, this kid that I used to fucking smoke blunts with in a basement. It was a basement show, not like weird, but like but like
I was free to come and go.
yeah. But like, and you know, and I knew Rory from the same, and I knew all of them from the same basement, but like I knew Liam and Gemma from from The Few and the Far, and I knew that Rory liked to play music sometimes, and I was hearing that Will was starting to play something. I was like, oh, that could be interesting. And then he just fucking gets up and sings a novel, taking the fucking walls of the Abbey, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Like, why plug in? And that's why we didn't a lot. We would play on the floor a lot. And anytime I do a hip hop show, I always start on the stage and jump onto the fucking floor. And people are like, how the fuck do you do that? Like, that seems terrifying to like be that close to people while you're singing in their face. And I'm like, I did it for 5 fucking years. Like,
right on. There's one thing I will say too, in like comes off of everything you guys told, from all the stories you've just told me, and you know, talking about the band and everything, is just like and it's a big thing on this podcast is when I talk about community a lot, and yeah, and again, like I was somebody who had always heard about you guys and never had a chance to see you, and then got into your music, and then, you know, slowly met you and formed friendships with you all, and like community is a big part of it. And I think that aspect of it, like when I say, you know, that you guys were Boston's best kept secret, like the community, the aspect of that, I think has something to do with that as well. And like, you know, so like I don't think I share music with so many people. Whenever I hear someone rumble about like there's no good music anymore, or, you know, lazy people, general population people who do not know about good music, like they don't know because they're not trying to find it. They're like there's nowhere you can find new music anymore. Like we have streaming services, but you don't know what, you know, it's fine-tuned and tailored to commercial bands and now AI bands and shit like that, right? Whoever's throwing the money at them. So, but the Old Edison is a band that I've I've shared with so many people who say they don't like XYZ. I'm like, well, try this. You know what I mean? And it wins people over. So, you know, like I said, your guys' music has always been something special to me, and I'm very excited for the 26th. And you know, thank you for everything, for your music, for deciding to do this show, for coming on this podcast and talking with me for the last hour. You know, and I am just like super pumped for you all. So
thanks for having us, and we're just as excited as you are. Which is a big deal for us, or at least for me. I won't speak for everybody else.
This is fucking
I might
huge.
be dragging them kicking and screaming, but it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. So is there now, do you guys, is there like an official like Old Edison social media account out there?
Not that we touch.
Yeah.
There's an Instagram, right?
I don't think so. No.
Wasn't there?
No, I think we broke up just in time to not have an Instagram.
We got Spotify,
right?
We got Spotify, we got Bandcamp. Bandcamp has 3 albums. Then there's the Benefit compilation that is probably just people also bought right at the bottom. If you want to hear a bunch of people cover our songs, some of which do a lot better than we do.
It's like a 40 song record too, right?
It's
like
33.
33. Yeah.
It's bananas.
I remember listening. When I picked that up, I was at a wedding in York, Maine, and I picked that up when I was leaving because I had no service, so I couldn't. I picked it up from Bandcamp and I listened to it the whole way home, and it was just like it was an awesome soundtrack to travel to. So
there's like 7 versions of In Start West Part 2 on there, and they're all completely different, and it's fucking incredible.
There's like a spoken word version of it too, I think. Right?
Yeah. From
like Bobby from the Gunks.
Yeah. Which I didn't fucking believe. I was like, Liam, I think you mislabeled this one. He's like, no, it's Bobby from the Magunks. And I was like, holy shit.
He was like, the Magunks are going to get together and do a song, right? And everybody just didn't get together. He's like, you know what? Fuck it.
Right on. So, well, I'll have a link to the Bandcamp in the show notes, and I will also make sure that there's a link to Faces. And I'm going to say this now. If this show isn't sold out yet, go get your ticket right away. I told
like $10.
I told the shitbag crew from back home, like, buy your tickets now. Don't, you know, if you need me to loan you the $10, I'll loan you the $10 to get the tickets. I was like, because you're not gonna want it, you're not gonna be able to get them by the day of. So, yeah, I'm telling everybody, and
I bought up tickets to sell outside to people that don't have tickets.
Okay.
For inflated prices.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I won't say how much I'm going to charge because I'm looking for desperation first. But I bought 8 tickets. That's I genuinely did.
Yeah. I'll stand outside of Faces.
Are you seriously scalping tickets, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scalping tickets.
Yeah,
no, I bought tickets because I'm going to have 7 schmucks and my partner. 7 schmucks are gonna go, hey man, I didn't think I was gonna buy it. I was waiting for my paycheck. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah, that's it. I will stand outside of Faces and scalp those tickets for 3 times the price for you if you want. I will.
A whopping $30.
I will.
Look, I'm on disability, all right? I gotta make
asshole.
a buck here.
I will sell. I will make sure. I'll grab people off the street and be like, buy this now. Now go inside. You know, I'll contribute my size and to getting people inside if you want.
And if you get there and it's sold out and Trev's also sold out, just hang out in the back parking lot. You'll fucking hear it.
Hell yeah, you definitely will. So, well, listen, Will, Rory, Sqaullie, thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you, like I said before, for everything you guys have done and do. And, the door is always open to all of you. And whenever you want to come back on, you want to talk about anything from writing to whatever, just let me know and we'll make it happen. So.
Thanks.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
Always a pleasure, Trev.